And there's a word of caution before your kids head out to trick or treat. Children are more likely to be hit and killed by cars on Halloween than any other night of the year. Researchers at the University of British Columbia looked at 42 years of data on fatal traffic crashes in the U.S. They found the number of pedestrian deaths was 43% higher on Halloween than on days before or after the holiday. Almost all the additional fatalities were children or young adults. The most dangerous time was between 5 and 8 p.m. A Minnesota woman is seriously hurt after a rollover in Otter Tail County. The State Patrol says the victim was a passenger in a car traveling near Deer Creek just before midnight. The driver swerved to avoid a deer and ended up rolling the vehicle in a ditch. Troopers say 60-year-old Melanie Moss of Wadena was taken to the St. Cloud Hospital with life-threatening injuries. The Minnesota woman accused of murder in 2 states will be in court today in Florida. 56-year-old Lois Reese is currently in custody in Fort Myers Beach. Reese faces the death penalty in the killing of Pamela Hutchinson. Minnesota investigators say Reese also killed her husband, David, at their home in Blooming Prairie before leading police on a manhunt back in March. A man will spend 20 years in prison for strangling an 81-year-old woman while burglarizing her St. Paul home more than 30 years ago. 60-year-old Michael Withers was sentenced yesterday after pleading guilty to second-degree murder in a plea deal last month. That was in the 1987 death of Lillian Culler. Withers was given credit for time served since he was charged in Culler's death in March of 2017. North Dakotans are streaming to the polls in big numbers to take advantage of early voting. New figures today from the Secretary of State show nearly 79,000 people have already cast their ballots. A 4th location in Cass County opened today. You can now vote at the Days Inn in Castleton, the Ramada Inn and Fargo Dome in Fargo, and the Doubletree by Hilton in West Fargo. Hours are 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. through Friday. Early voting is also a hit in Minnesota. Secretary of State Steve Simon says the numbers are unheard of. He says the state is on pace to match or exceed turnout in a presidential election year.